Hi, I'm Bert Kinister, and this is Volume 5 of Tips and Tales. This is Volume 5 of Tips and Tales, and this shot is on the 60-minute workout. Now, I have already shown you a shot that I consider to be the most important shot in the world. It is the long straight in. It is Volume 1 Tips and Tales. It's a long straight in where you hit it dead square in the center. There is no axis of rotation and you stop the ball dead. But to refine your ability to play this game at a higher level, there is a shot past that. Now, where we stop the other ball, we shoot the 9-ball in the corner pocket or whatever ball straight in, and we stop the other ball so that it stays immaculately one ball behind where the 9-ball is. Now, to improve your ability to play this game, it is necessary that you are able to stroke the ball at exactly the speed that you want to every time. To create this mind-body relationship where you're able to move your arm at exactly the same speed every time, I have found this to be the best solution. The same shot where we're stopping that ball absolutely dead, no left, no right, no high, absolutely perfect, no axis of rotation. If we hit that same ball exactly in the center, just like everything the same, at exactly the correct speed, it will slide to maybe a 64th of an inch before the contact point. The physics of the thing is, at the point in time where the ball begins to slide, it will roll through the ball that it hits full the same distance. If you are able to hit the ball at exactly the correct speed, it will, at just prior to the moment of contact, begin to roll, and it will roll and take that ball's spot exactly. When you're able to do that, most of you won't be able to do it very well at all. Entry level to top play is 30%. There are players out there that do it in the high 90s. They can do it in the high 90s. In my life, I've done it in the high 90s. What I'm going to show you here is I'm going to hit a couple of balls just to stop it dead, the way we did before, and then I'm going to hit the ball at precisely the correct speed so that it will move forward one ball's length to take the object ball's place. When you're able to do that 30% or so of the time, you will have a stroke that moves in a straight line. You will have the ability to hit the object ball exactly where you want it. And you will have the ability to hit the cue ball exactly where you want it, at least 30% of the time. But most important, you will have the ability to do those three things at exactly the speed that you want to. You have created a mind-body agreement where you're able to move your stroking arm at the speed that you want it to move almost all of the time. The power that this gives you, if it takes a few months to get it together, but the power it gives you, once you know, once you have, it is like an epiphany. Once you realize that you've created a golden arm, you'll go, nyah, 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 nyah. You'll know you have something that your opponents don't. That's absolutely perfect. Stop shot. No axis of rotation. It stopped stone cold dead. That is the first component. The second component is little left. Did you see that ball move forward one ball? It took the other ball's place. The only way that can happen is if it is not only hit exactly in the center, it has to be hit at a precise speed so it slides to within a 64th of an inch of the contact point. At the point it begins to roll, then it will move forward and take that other ball's place exactly. When you are able to do that 30% of the time, you have combined the ability to shoot a ball in a perfectly straight line. You have also added the ability to contact the cue ball exactly where you want in the center. And you have hit the ball at a precise speed. Your mind and your arm are working so well together that you are able to make this ball travel 6 feet or so at exactly the correct speed in a straight line where it will take that ball's place. You have combined the elements of hitting the cue ball precisely where you want, hitting the object ball precisely where you want, having the cue stick move in a straight line, absolute straight line, and moving at one particular speed. Your arm is able to control that speed. Those are the 4 elements of a professional stroke. Straight line, hitting the cue ball exactly where you want, hitting the cue ball exactly the precise speed you want, and hitting the object ball where you want. When you can do that 30% of the time, you can hit every other shot exactly the way you want it, exactly the speed you want, exactly the straight line, everything perfectly 30% of the time. And the other 70%, you're going to be real close. And there are people that can do this in the high 90s. High 90s. They did not wake up one morning able to do this. When you start doing this time after time after time, it turns into a meditation. That meditation takes you to a level of play where there's very little air at the top, man. It's very heady up there, but it's fun to be alone at the top of the mountain. He's my buddy, he's my pal, he's the Patcheroo. So I'm 15 years old, I'm in high school. I spend every moment I can playing pool. I'm playing at Olympia Lanes. Used to be, Olympia Lanes sponsored the 1020 show, which was a television show with Jimmy Moore and Cranfield and Crane. Everybody played on this, played a game called 1020. Every chance I got, I tried to play pool. I had 2 pool tables at the house. I'm trying to convince my parents that pool's not the end of it. They hated it. They hated it. My grandparents, my parents, yeah, they were scientists. They hated pool. So finally, they got in cahoots with the school, and they had somebody, a traveling counselor, Dr. Fabian. He showed up at the school once a month, and he called me into his office, and he's going to show me that I can't make a living playing pool. And he took me over to Olympia Lanes, and at his behest, we're playing $2 9-ball, and it went to $5. The windup is I beat him out of $112. A long time ago, folks. $112 was real money then. He didn't talk to me all the way back to the school, and then I told my grandparents I was living with my grandparents then. I showed my mom. They got a letter from the school that said, maybe you can make a living playing pool. And I've been lucky enough for the last 30 or 40 years to make more than a decent living playing pool, thanks to you guys out there. The only story I know better than mine, well, I know there have to be about high school stories, but Keith McCready's story, he shows up in gym class one day in high school, and he talks to the gym teacher. He says, well, I've got all this money I won last night in the pool room. He says, can you hold the money? Well, I get dressed and I take Jim, and He had the gym teacher had $37,000 he gave him. Keith McCready got thrown out of school, so the story goes, and the rest is the stuff of legends. Wave Petraroo. I love everybody.